And here we are with the cast of, I have to read it out, okay? Eternally confused and eager for love. What is this name? Why did you guys come up with this name?
Well, it started as a novel, a long-form novel, a series of novels. And then he decided that instead it should be a snappy kind of sitcom for Netflix.
The title was originally Eternally Confused and Eager for Love in This Crazy City with Wonderful Friends. And then we said...
What?
Not even slightly.
No. And then we said, Rahul, please cut it down. So this is the minimum it can get.
It was one of the first things I thought when I wrote the first episode. I just thought of this as like a title, and it always felt like a joke to me. So I wrote it as a joke, and then it stuck around. And
I feel the title might be one of the best things about the show.
Okay, let's come to Jim. Rahul, why this man? Why did you choose this man to voice? Very good.
Because he's amazing. He's
I agree
he's
with you,
really
he's
funny.
amazing.
He's got a chaotic vibe to him. I feel like he's got a bit of a Joker-esque vibe to him as well. Indian version of Batman. Producers need to look at him.
I'd happily play Batman as well. If my nose could fit inside of the mask, 100%.
It won't.
No, but yeah, so there was he's got a great sense of humor, and I had worked with him before very briefly on Made in Heaven. And yeah, he just seemed like the right fit. So when we asked him and he said yes, we were very happy. And we got to do a cool project together.
Yeah.
I want to know why, because you know, it's the inner voice that's always talking to us. Why didn't you use Vihaan's voice? Like, Jim came later, but why did you choose to have a different voice other than Vihaan's?
So actually that's something I thought about for a while, and it boiled down to a practical thing. I think that you hear Ray, you hear his voice. Often you hear it in the midst of a conversation with many other people. And it can get confusing if it's your own voice.
Instead of people being like, is the sync off?
Yeah.
What happened?
So that's the practical reason. But also having a different voice adds to this idea that he is battling something, because we know that's it's a voice in his head, but he's making it out to be this toy. So there is a sense that there's a detachment, and having a different voice then allows for, you know, that difference. So you see that this is what Ray is, this is how Ray thinks.
Could have saved money though, bhai. One actor, one payment. At
Jim?
all.
But can you imagine?
तुमको काम नहीं चाहिए?
चाहिए मुझे.
So keep quiet.
Please, they don't go.
Vihaan, what was it like to react and talk to this toy with, like, because you're not talking to a person or reacting to a person. You know, it is so weird, right?
It was a very interesting headspace to be in workshops and on shoot. I think we had to figure out, number one, like why someone talks to an inanimate object, what makes them tick that way, why is that caused. Once we figured that out, it was like getting comfortable with it enough to, like, you know, just have it as, oh yeah, it's there, it's just my toy. Yeah, no big deal. Like, yeah, I talk to him, he talks to me. So what, you know? I think that getting there was an interesting process, and then shooting with it. I enjoyed it thoroughly because when am I going to have a scene partner that isn't actually present in front of me? It's just an object. That's such a cool scene partner. That metaphorically is actually you. Or literally is actually you, not metaphorically. So I think it's a very, very interesting, cool headspace, and performing it was a blast, honestly.
What about you? Not being on camera, just a voiceover, is it a blast or is it difficult?
So I wasn't there during the filming of it or anything. I just came once the show was already more or less locked. The edit was more or less locked. I think he had to tweak some things just because I would take too long to say the lines. Or
No, I thought you must have done the voiceover before they started shooting.
No.
He joined the project when we were in post-production.
Oh, wow. Okay. That makes things a little more interesting.
So there was somebody else on set prior to that who was saying lines to him. And then we took those lines and kept most of them the same, but also played around with some of them and just saw what we could add to it. And I think when I heard it for the first time, I found the voice to be too consistently negative. You know, it was like consistently beating him down. And I think watching it and seeing him get into trouble or get into awkward situations that he didn't know how to deal with, and on top of that, then the voice is always putting him down. To me, it was too much. So we discussed that a lot, and then we tried to even it out a bit more, where it's like sometimes it was negative and made fun of him and was his anxious self-loathing, and sometimes it is the totally light voice inside of you that, you know, is like, get over it, come on, forget it, let's go, oh look, a dog, you know, a butterfly, hey, you know. So it was fun. It was really fun to do it, actually. I think it was, I think for me it was more fun to do it than to, some things it's more fun to do than to watch. Do you know what I mean? Other things it's more fun to watch afterwards because you're like, oh my God, the way that the whole thing came together, I could not have imagined that. Whereas in this particular case, I had seen how the thing had come together, you know? So it was more fun to be in the room, playing around, trying to make him crack up. It would literally be that I would say something and I'd be like, did he laugh? He laughed? Okay.
The way I shot the show and the way I saw it afterwards is completely different. Like,
Right,
Yes,
for you.
For you, it's different.
there's
Yes,
stuff
that's what
that
Jim was-
I didn't know Jim was gonna say, and like I'm watching back and I'm like, that wasn't scripted. Oh, okay, well that works, you know. Like it was just like it's a different show now, you know. That was really cool.
Tell me, in your personal life, what does this inner voice tell you that you have to snap out of? What happens?
My mind works in a very pros and cons sort of scenario. So whenever I have to come up with when I am faced with a decision, I immediately think of all the worst possible outcomes and all the best possible outcomes. And then those are presented to me like one sort of, here are the options, and then I must pick and choose, you know?
Usually I have to filter the inner voice because I want to still have friends and work. And I think that I think
Jim, what is your inner voice telling you right now?
no, it's just, you know, there's so many things that are popping around actually in my inner voice. Why don't I instead tell you what is actually happening in my inner voice? One part of me is like, oh, I'll say I'm judgmental, I am snarky, I am, you know, all of these things. Then I'll read the headline two days later being like, Jim Sarbh is judgmental and snarky. Then I'll be like, why did you say that shit? You should not have said that dumb shit. See, they're only going to take the bad thing and put it there on the headline, and then you'll only complain and be like, why have you done this to my interview? Then the person will be like, yeah, but you said it. You shouldn't have said it, nah. You should only say the bits that
You're
you
so
want
experienced, you don't know.
to have out there. Exactly. Learn something. Learn something. All of that happened in the span of your question, you know? So instead I should, you know, I should say something like fake-o shit that most people say during PR stuff, which is like, you know, my inner voice really leads me to gentle and good decisions because...
the ocean.
Yeah. See, the thing is, you just have to believe in yourself and you have to just organize your inner thoughts in such a way that they work for you and they flow towards your kind of like way of life in the way that you want flow, you know? So I really, personally, I just think you just have to believe, you know, and you just have to love.
Okay,
and
then.
you just have to live.
It'll not end. Rahul, I know exactly why you chose him. Yeah.
I really don't know what she means.
Vihaan, right now, what is your inner voice telling you? Like, shut up, Jim.
Jim's crazy. Oh man. I don't know. I just like think about what would future you appreciate. Like, you know, that's all.
That's like deep.
Yeah, like you want to wake up in the morning. What's the best thing? Sleep now or like wake up? What would Vihaan in 1 hour appreciate?
Oh, like future you now. Okay. I was like,
Or Vihaan
all
in
your
like a year.
decisions.
You know, like it depends on how big the decision is.
Some fun questions here, okay? Have you guys been eternally confused and eager in love in real life?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're always eternally
Yeah, yeah,
confused and eager for love.
Confused?
I surprise myself constantly with contradictions. I think it's one thing, then something else will happen, I think it's that thing, then something else will happen, I think it's that thing. People who claim to know exactly what they want and how they want it, I find very surprising to me because I know that that's not how I am. I really believe I am eternally confused and eager for love.
Okay, next question. 3 things you should never tell a woman.
You know, when you ask that question, you remind me so much of your mother.
I know it's Women's Day, but I just want to take this day to remind all the women about what men have done. Something like that.
Wow, the phrase "I don't know" can often be very aggravating if said in the right context. So my answer is I don't know.
3 rules of the dating game.
Isn't there like a celebrity dating app? Like,
There's a celebrity dating app that you can get on that's supposed to be only for celebs across the world. And you can get on it. But I like, not that I've been dating for a while, but I like the meeting people thing. I like meeting somebody at a bar or at a party or at somebody's house party and having a conversation and getting a number like that. I mean, the excitement of that is just so much fun.
Yes, I agree with
that everything else feels like, eh.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I literally I try to listen and smile and hopefully that works out.
And hopefully not say something ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't have any answers either. I was when I was on a dating app, I was extremely bad at it. In fact, I could probably write a book on what not to do.
That's exactly why you have written this?
I mean, I guess this is the book. This is the book, yeah. This is the novel that has become the show title.
Sorry, just start with a compliment, I think. I'm trying to think of like things in my head. Like start with a compliment, yeah.
Just be nice and attentive and like say what you actually feel and what you actually want.
Jim, you never say what you actually feel, okay?
You must.
You
must.
You should not.
You'll be thinking a million things you
must.
won't say.
Everybody can. Jim, don't, huh? Don't try. It'll be very bad.
I had a friend who'd say like, dude, the best thing to do is go up to a girl and just say you love her. Just start with that. And then she'll be so overwhelmed and so like taken aback with the romance of it that she'll fall for you.
No, shall we slap you? What is the stupidest thing that you have ever said to a woman on a date?
I'm very good on dates, very nice and attentive.
And what is your inner voice telling you that time? Look at his face. Look at his face, you women. Look at his face.
You know what? I have done this once. I don't know if it was a date, but maybe it was a date to me, and it wasn't a date to the person I was talking to. But it was the classic like, hi, how are you? And then they said, hi, how are you? And then I responded with I'm great. How are you? And then they were like, you already asked me. And then I realized that I had started, they had not, and it's happened to me several times, but it did happen once on.
Sometimes I keep forgetting if they're non-vegetarian, so then I just keep offering them some of my food, and then they're like, dude, I've told you like 5. I'm like, shit, sorry. Like, I know. You can have whatever you want. Don't eat my chicken dish.
What they say about the don't bring up the politics or the religion and stuff on the first date is like very true. That much I have realized. I have left dates midway, not finished eating. Been like, chalo, let's get the bill.
Yeah?
Let's get the bill. This is never gonna. I like the idea of having the conversation, so I'll have the conversation first. You know, because you shouldn't immediately demonize for somebody for a different political or religious or whatever stance. I do believe that. And I think actually the solution is conversation, not fighting. Have the conversation, but then get the check. Let's go.
Okay, coming to you, Jim. Rocket Boys have been doing really well. And now that, you know, everybody has watched it, I want to know, how has it been that people are coming up and talking about it to you?
It's been lovely. I think that it would have been really heartbreaking for all of us for the amount of work that we put in if it had come and gone without a blip. So considering that and the fact that it's the director's debut and he's such a smart, talented, sensitive, collaborative filmmaker that it was just a pleasure. It was a pleasure to do it. It was like a pleasurable torture because it was also very hard. It was true. It was the hardest project that I've done in a while. And I'm glad that it has paid off.
Okay, guys, congratulations. I really enjoyed the first 4 episodes. And I have to wait till 18th March to watch the rest, and I can't wait. Thank you, Rahul, for making this.
Thank you so much for liking it.